Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. I want to go over some very good news that we have. We got some uh, court actions that were dismissed, and I want to walk over why that happened. I can tell you how this happened without even having to go to court. Um, and I'm going to talk about debt validation with some debt collectors, and then the one that I'm very happy that I got here, we can uh, talk about the settlement that one of the customers arranged with Santander, where we were going back and forth, and she pushed hard, never gave up, and eventually got. Believe the vehicle was about $13,000 balance on the vehicle. She was not included in the settlement per se for what they agreed to with Attorney General's offices, but she we first started out with the demand letter, went back and forth. She wanted to keep her vehicle. Uh, I'm talking about this has been months. I think we started on this way back in May or early June, pushed through and signed, sealed, delivered 10 last week. Settlement for it doesn't have an amount on this sheet, but I think it was $1,300 on a vehicle balance of $13,000. So that's like a 10% one payment. Everything is said and done. They did try to put something on her saying that they can only make requests that changes be made to the credit history, that they cannot guarantee such requests be honored. Let me talk about this statement real quick. Santander put the information about the vehicle being charged off, and when Santander puts that your vehicle was charged off, that doesn't mean that they've repoed the vehicle. Santander has this little deal, this little scam that they're running where if you get if you fall behind with your payments, they automatically put you as a charged off account so they can put you with their so-called debt collection side of their business. And that's actually not legal, at least in my state of Wisconsin, and there's other states where the lender cannot do that, where they charge it off, and in a way they're coming after you like a debt collector because you have to be registered as a debt collector, but they're not registered as a debt collector. They're an actual finance company. But and what they did is they actually put the information on her credit reports that it was a charge off, and now they're gonna put in this letter like it's just like the last stab at this young lady. The last stab that we can give you is to say that we can only make requests that changes be made to the credit history and cannot guarantee such request will be honored. This is what they said. This is what we're dealing with. This is when we're trying to repair your credit or when you're trying to repair your credit. This is the type of stuff that we're dealing with when it comes to it. They agreed to something. This account is not even considered what they're stating on the letter anymore. They control what goes on someone's credit and what doesn't go on someone's credit. They are the furnisher. They place that information on there, and they're stating that they can only make a request. So you see what we're dealing with. So if you are ever thinking that you're going to quit when it comes to repairing your credit, getting out of debt, that there's going to be some point in time where everything is so easy, and that it just has to be because of these laws that they have, this 30-day rule or this 45-day rule, that they have to abide by that. You're setting yourself up for failure because this right here, this letter right here states what all of us, if you've ever had anything negative on your credit report, the games that are being played for them to send this letter. Um, all right, now moving forward, we got some debt collectors. One is trying to collect for a cell phone bill. One is trying to collect for a uh, department store credit card. And they were both purchased by debt collection companies. And these will be easily, uh, they're not going to be able to come after them for this when we send this, the debt validation letter. I can already see that there's problems with this. I don't want to disclose the problems that I see with this because then we're going to, help the debt collection companies that buy debt out. So I'm not going to reveal that. But what you can do is you should get my debt validation letter, uh, and you can see exactly what we're going to do for these two accounts. The link is below this video, and you can get that letter, and you can see the verbiage of why I feel probably 99% that they will come back and not choose to come after them for these two debts. Uh, just to let you know, one of the problems that I see with it is that they're asking to make a settlement now. And when I see these where they make the settlement now, this is like a market employee. This is like put it, you have a debt, you have it. We're gonna extend our hand. You owe, like in this one here, 2,300 bucks. They offer to settle it for less than half. This is like a marketing ploy strategy. Buy the debt, balloon up the amount, send them something half, or maybe we'll get it settled for less. They do this because they buy these debts for pennies on the dollar. So this is a strategy to not have to spend money to go to court on these types of debts. But I don't even think that they would, especially for the one that's cell phone, because this one here, statute of limitations for communications debt had already ran out. So they will not even be able to even attempt to take this to court. Also, reading below here, it says, where we got it, where we got it, where we got it, where we got it, where we got it. Does not state that it was reviewed. Yeah, it doesn't state that it was reviewed by an attorney. So those are going to even be a lot easier. Now the final one here that I want to go over, YouTube viewer purchased our uh, uh, summons, pro se summons and complaint response uh, package where we will write your, um, really it's like a whole pro se defense for you so you can go to court if you're being sued by a debt collector. And it has to be a debt collector. If it's the original creditor, this type of defense will not work. But if a debt collector has purchased a debt, this pro se defense, works almost every time. And but what had happened was, okay, when she got me the information, it did not state if the credit card company still owned the debt, or were they, uh, or was the plaintiff in a way pretending to be representing the credit card company, but they're really just working with a collection agency. And I had told her, you need, because it didn't state it in the paperwork that she sent to me, and I wanted to make sure that this was going to qualify. There was nothing even in the summons that made me feel that the bank had sold a debt to a debt collector. I had read through everything and it didn't state it. So then what um, what I had her do is I said, you need to call them and you need to ask them that question. And she called and she said that, well, when she didn't get the answer because they wanted to get all of her information to make sure that they were, and she to make sure they would talk to the right person, and she didn't feel comfortable doing that. And I said, well, they already have taken you to court, so they have all of the information that they're going to ask you, and the calls are being recorded, so they have to do that just by law, that they have to ask and make sure that they disclose your information to you, not to someone else without your permission. So she did. I'm wondering if she did call back. I sent her an email, uh, but maybe even when she called and didn't disclose their information, she did ask the debt collector, did they own the debt? And they said that they could not. Did they own the debt, or were they collecting it for a debt collector, or were they collecting it actually for the credit card company? And then they said, we can't answer that unless you answer all of this. And she didn't answer it. I sent her an email back. She didn't respond back yet, but I wanted to get this in the video. Uh, I think that even if she did not call back and finish up with answering their questions to get an answer to that question, that the person on the line might have gotten that information to someone, because what I have here in my hands is what she sent over. And it says that the plaintiff has submitted a notice of withdrawal for the summary judgment. And she was asking me, what does this mean? This means that the debt collector has decided that they're not going to come after her for the uh, the judgment. So something uh, either got to the right person where they said, we know we don't have the information, or they know that what she's going to be asking or potentially doing when that question gets asked. Some collection agencies, and this one here, this specific collection agency, we have done probably 20 or 30 over the last month to this specific collection agency with the pro se defense in court, and those were all wiped out. And maybe they've instructed their agents, when they hear that type of question, you need to get that to the management at the debt collection office, because they're going to probably move to, uh, like they did in this one, motion to withdraw. So that's what happened on this one here. So I'm going to end the video here. If you have any questions, please post your questions and comments. I'm You can see that I'm not uh, at my office. I'm not even in town. My wife is having a procedure. She's getting ready for the lung transplant, and they had to put a tube in her because they still, even though she's been gaining weight, eating, drinking the shakes, all of that stuff, they still want her to have added like a buffer of weight and a way to put uh, food into her, if she doesn't have the appetite that she'll need to recover. So they put a what's called a tube, a JG tube or GJ tube. It goes in her stomach and her intestines, and it'll, she'll be constantly getting calories that way, also starting today and moving forward. Um, so I'm dealing with that, but I wanted to make sure that I've spent some time and made the video for everyone. And I'm gonna be, since I'm, in a hotel room by myself, I'm gonna make time to just sit there and just answer as many questions that I have in the comments section also. Again, if you need help with your credit, please visit the creditrepairshop.com. The link is right here on the video. If you need your credit reports and scores, please go to your number 3scores.com. That link is here. That is one way that I help support the channel. and everything starts there anyway with getting all of the information from all three credit reports and scores. If you need the debt validation letter that I talked about earlier, the link is below this video. It's absolutely free. You can grab that, and until next time, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you.